I legit almost opened this up with 102.5. Anyway, hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Random Ish with Sanja. How you doing? Hope all is well with you. Girl, I know. Listen, I know it's a little crazy right now. I know. It's been welcome to my world. It's always crazy up in here. You know what I'm saying? There's always some stuff going on that you have to like grin, bear it. You know what I mean? Welcome to the Black experience. You understand? Oh my gosh. All right. I was not trying to go so heavy right into the show. Good gravy. But the time that we are experiencing right now with all of this crazy chaos is something that unfortunately that we have been used to, and you have to figure out how to live your life every day while there's crazy chaos happening all around you. And too many of us have had that type of, what's the word I'm looking for? That type of training, right? I feel like we're in training day. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, what's going on with you? I am so excited we are back. Woohoo! You checked out the previous episode with Melissa from Kitchen Melissa. As you see, we have a new set, guys. Yay! We're moving on up to the east side. No, for real. George Jefferson. I used to do the George Jefferson walk. Anyway, yeah, showing my attention deficit disorder issues, right? Anyways, what's happening with you? Listen, like I said, I know that we've been going under attack. A lot of us are saying that February is the start of the new year, but I think we might already want to take that back. However, I will say this. February Black History Month is rolling in like it's supposed to. Beyonce wins Country Music Award of the Year. Or I should say she wins Album of the Year for her country music album. There we go. Yeah, you know what I meant. And folks are all upset. They're like, Billy should have won. Now, listen, this is all about changing and shifting perspectives. Kendrick Lamar. I gotta save all of that. We're gonna save all that because I don't want this to be an episode that is only good for a certain period of time. I want this to be an evergreen episode. All right. So we'll get into all of that good stuff in just a little bit. Okay. So today, what we're talking about today is reinforcing the story of what Manifest Beauty is all about. Because right now, I had to take a break. I was doing radio. I had show in the morning time and in the afternoon, and I did that for 2 years. And although it was great, it didn't exactly go where I thought it was going to go. And Assist needed some time to rest and recuperate. During that time, I've gotten a little bit more clear. I've had some ideas of what I want to see with Random Ish. And I'd really like to emphasize what it is that our brand is all about, what our story is all about. And that is, we don't let nobody tell us how we gonna live. Not in like, don't follow the rules, as in no matter how old you are, no matter whether you come from money, whether you don't come from money, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man. What we are all about is we are for people who want to live. They are not trying to just get up and go to work every day, come home, do the same thing every single week, and live a groundhog existence. We are for the people who are wanting to have those, borrowing the line from Hitch, the moments that take your breath away, right? Yeah, we want to create those moments and have those moments and find ways to incorporate more joy into our life. And how do we attract money with that joy? That's what Manifest Beauty is all about, is really living our life. And the thing that scares me is, could you imagine passing and transitioning and not fully living out your potential? Like that scares the crap out of me, and gets me to do things that I can be uncomfortable with, such as taking a stand and really turning this into a business. Whereas before, with just a message, I mean, if I come across somebody where I feel like they will hear the words, then I say it and call it a day. But now turning it into an actual business and making sure that I'm staying true and authentic to the actual message and don't just adapt business practices that the masses are used to, which I will adapt some of them because, white bread is white bread and everybody likes white bread. Well, maybe not everybody, but that wasn't exactly a great example, but not trying to reinvent the wheel. Just trying to show you a different spoke. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to I'm going to really make sure that I start telling more stories of the things that I've overcome. Cause it's been a lot, a lot, right? I've always really wanted to live when I was a kid, I don't know why, but when I was a kid, I was just like, yo, when I'm old, I don't know, it's because I'm looking at Madonna, Michael Jackson. We had some real, talented people that we were looking up to. Tina Turner. I was just like, yo, I'm trying to live, right? Like, I want to live life. I do not want to just, do one thing. And that's something I decided as a kid, right? And so it is not always been the easiest thing to convey to other people that it's not about being flaky or, whatever. Because I do things for years. And when I get tired of it, I don't want to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And move on. But things always go in a cycle. So it comes back. But it's very important to me that we are actually living life. And that's what Manifest Beauty and our message and brand is all about, is that we need to incorporate more joy into our life. And especially right now, where it is a war tactic to overwhelm and shock and awe and leave the enemy or the victim or the prey or whatever, disheveled and just like, So in order for us to not let that happen, you have to snatch the joy wherever you can. You got to create and conjure your happiness whenever you can. And you got to do it several times a day. So we are going to be doing more of that. We'll be right back. I'm getting together a gift box because we have t-shirts now, guys, not just doing the DJ business. I am moving also into the products. So we've got some hoodies and tees. When you order the t-shirts or anything from the manifestbeautyshop.com, first of all, it is free shipping. And I'm always about the little extras. And I'll throw in a couple of other extra goodies as well. So if you like what you see, it is hoodie season, friends. So you can definitely go to manifestbeautyshop.com, get yourself a hoodie. They're super soft, comfortable, warm. They are awesome. All sizes, friends. And I am working on getting another color as well. But for right now, we bold and beautiful up in here. And I think for 2025, this is definitely a message that needs to be spread. Hey, for those who missed out on prom, since we're in our healing era, let's have a redo. Prom reboot. This time, we're taking it back to Fresh Prince, Saved by the Bell, Beverly Hills 90210. It's going to be all that and a bag of chips. Come in your 90s style or your best prom fit. Prom reboot happening May 3rd. Get your early bird tickets now on eventbrite.com. It's an inclusive ticket. VIP gets a welcome champagne entrance. Early bird pricing on that too. We party at the Rain in a beautiful wedding venue right here in Milford, Connecticut. Out of town guests, you get special pricing on rooms at the Hilton Garden Inn to make your night complete. Get your tickets now. Eventbrite and manifestbeautyshop.com. Prom reboot. Welcome back to Random Ish with Sandra. How you doing? So we were talking about some of the changes that are going down. By the way, do me a favor. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to check out the podcast. And it's Random ish. There's a separation because I want to be able to talk about random shit. So it's not like randomish where it's just, I don't really know the difference between that. But I feel like there's a difference. I feel like there's randomish where it's just kind of like it's kind of just random, right? No, I'm very specific, but we talk about random topics. And then I also have the random, I put that all in my face, didn't I? Random question, So the random question will stay. The nerd in me will also be a part of the production because I really enjoy that. As you can see, I'm so mad I can't find my lenses. I got my telescope, the little lenses that go inside. I keep them in a special little thing. And we moved and I had them. And then went and was using the telescope with the children. Do I need to say anymore? Yeah. Anyway. So the nerd in me will still be a part, but I want to make sure that I'm getting a lot of conversations with some really dope women and people. Like we're not going to be just for women. Because today I actually got a message from somebody saying that they listened or watched the episode where I was talking about women loving men. And it was a dude, and he was like, I have some thoughts. Can I come on? Heck yeah, man. So we'll arrange that coming up a little later. So this podcast is not just for women, but I want to feature some really dope women doing their thing. And of course, people as well. And we're still going to get the gossip going, right? Yes, friend. Speaking of dope women, I actually have two ladies. I was on set. Let me tell you something. I do like saying that. My daughter likes to point out to me because I will make up any reason to say, yeah, when I was on set. Sugar. I got cast as background for Happy Gilmore and I don't think they didn't have hair and makeup on that one, right? Like we just had to arrive. But then I got cast in Poker Face, and that is where they had hair and makeup, and I was not used to that because when I did acting way long time ago, if you were not like a principal or whatever, like that wasn't for you. So anyways, I thought it was really cool because I got to sit in the chair and they gassed me up a little bit. Like to say little shout out to Roberto for, showing a chick how to do the curlettes that I've always wanted to do. And I've always done the flat iron. Like, ladies, we know if you got a flat iron, like we can make the ringlets with the flat iron. But apparently you do need that freaking wand to get the curls and those loose, curls that I've always admired on certain girls who have that, thick. Because not everybody has that. Like, you got to have that thick. I call it California beach girl hair. Yeah. This is what it's giving me right now. Anyways, so being on set, right? Did you see? I said it again. I saw some really dope ass bitches, yo. I'm not gonna front. One of them, I'm hoping that she heard everything I said. Because when Poker Face wrapped, we were leaving, and I leaned over, and the lady was on the phone, but there was these two women that I swear to God, I don't know if they felt me staring at them, but I was staring at them so hardcore because I was like, yo, those are some badass bitches, yo. I was just like, yo, those are some, yo, I was literally in awe. There was a lot of women on set. They had, there was female camera operators, and it was the dudes who was sitting in the back doing the adjusting. Girl. So anyway, when we were leaving, she was on the phone, and I whispered, because I didn't want to say it out loud, super loud. I was like, you're a badass bitch. And I just keep thinking to myself, I'm like, I really hope she heard me say you're a badass bitch and not you're a bitch. Anyways, so when I was on set for one of those two, I secretly had a conversation with two costume designers asking them about how they got into the business, where they started, how they're doing now, and all of that good stuff. So we will be listening to that conversation coming up in just a minute. But before we do that, before we get into that, I got to give my little Kendrick Lamar dissertation. Because everybody's giving one. I know it's a week late. Technically, it's 2 days after the Super Bowl, but when this airs, it will be next week. So I just wanted to show you, to tell you the points that I got and the things that I picked out and was like, oh my God. Okay, so first it started and I was like, ooh, this is so West Coast. With the car, I was just so excited. And then once he started, and then when the squabble up came, I was like, oh my God. Literally, like a little kid, I hopped my happy ass on the floor and sat there like this with my phone, you know what I'm saying? And then kept telling myself, live in the moment, put the phone down, right? But it was so good. There were so many symbolisms. There was just, he just showed his intelligence. So what I picked up on was basically that life is a huge game. Here in America, I've always liked to say that too. I like to say that it's not a test, that it's a game. And unfortunately, it sucks because there have been many people who try to rig the game. There's always people who want to cheat, right? Like, whenever you play a dang game, somebody is over there trying to cheat, trying to take the advantage. They're not just playing to have fun. They got to win. So what I was noticing, I was like, okay, the Uncle Sam. Soon as I saw Sam Jackson, Uncle Sam, I was like, ooh, this is amazing. And Trump is there. This is amazing, right? The prison street yard, the Cali, people sitting on the street lamps. I heard some governor was asking their citizens, please don't climb the street lights. I don't think people are that silly, but you know what? I didn't think people were silly enough to elect. I didn't think that this is what we'd be living in 2025. I thought we was going to have our first female president. So what I was like, oh snap, hey Drake, the pause and look at the camera. Awesome. Okay. He didn't actually say the lyric of the pedophile. He just said it and then left it blank. So I thought that was very smart of him. The part that I thought was insane was the crowd actually saying A minor. And I could tell by the look on his face that he was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? The necklace, somebody had pointed out. Now, I saw the necklace and was like, why does he have a lowercase a on his thing? And then I saw on the internet that apparently the lowercase a in music is A minor. So that was like, whoa. Now, I saw Serena, but I wasn't sure that Serena. I was like, is that Serena? And I was like, nah. And then afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh. That was amazing because not for nothing. We did it in my exercise class. We did a video to Not Like Us, and I recorded it. And like the West Coast of me like came out, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really crip walk, but you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I was crip walking. And so the fact that Serena came out and it was on the part, of Serena. So anyway, I thought that was absolutely insane. And the game over at the end of it, I thought was amazing. Now I've heard different theories about the X, where he did the peekaboo inside the X. I don't know enough about any of that for me to make any comments, but all I got to say is, okay. And yeah, I hope that we have more artists to do things like this, because the simple fact that people with the social media, the way that people jump on the internet to dissect things and to talk about it is amazing. And then I'm just sitting here like, yo, these people are like, they're like really, really, really intelligent to be hiding the little Russian doll inside, to nest it inside, like that's some Beyonce stuff, But anyway, I thought it was amazing. And I feel like it is something that we will be talking about for a while, so I can have the Super Bowl conversation in this evergreen conversation, because I do believe it's time for all of us to be able to thrive, not just survive. And speaking of thriving and not just surviving, let's check out the ladies that I got to speak to on the set of, I'll say this, it's a major motion picture that is coming out this year on Netflix.
Yes, same.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Random Ish with Sandra. How you doing? So listen, I am out and about. We are doing a live show real quick. So I'm on set and I'm looking all around and I'm getting so inspired because, you know, guys, we're trying to do the dang thing and chase our dreams over here. And I'm realizing that there's so many aspects and layers to every little thing that I'm trying to do. And today, as I was looking around, I just really got inspired by looking at these ladies over here working their wardrobe and how much vision it must take to be able to, like, imagine the costumes and then imagine, like, how it is what you're trying to convey, what it is that you're trying to do. And as you know, we have our friend Carlene Lindsay. She's a fashion designer, and I just was curious, wanted to know from these ladies, like, did they start out as designers? Did they go to school for this? Like, how does one even get into being a wardrobe stylist for, like, the big boys? So, who I have here with me, what's your name?
Doreen.
I've got Doreen.
Stacy.
And I've got Stacy with me. Hi, ladies. How you doing?
Hi. Good. Hello.
Hello. So Stacy, how did you get into this industry?
So I moved to New York to become a costume designer, and I worked alongside some of the best in the business, who shall remain nameless, because I looked at them and I saw very unhappy people.
Oh.
And I had to check myself and see what ladder I was climbing.
Oh.
And so I shifted gears and started dressing backstage because it was adjacent to what I was doing, and joined the wardrobe union and ended up being a lot happier there. So
I love that. So sometimes it is always more important. I'm not going to say sometimes it is always more important to kind of like follow your heart and to listen to that inside voice, because you could have just stayed where you were at, obviously, because maybe the status was probably fantastic and you were like, woohoo, but you weren't happy.
No, the people who did have the status weren't happy. I was fine. I was young. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I thought they were doing what I wanted to do, and they were so unhappy that it made me check myself. Now, had I worked for someone who, you know, had better self-regulation and and was a happier person, I might have stayed in design, but that was not to be, and I was young enough to kind of,
segue
out and look elsewhere.
I think that's a very interesting point that I'm really glad that you just reiterated that, because a lot of people have asked me, they're like, don't you want to be like super famous? And I'm like, I, as a radio personality, have come across a lot of celebrities, and a lot of them are not happy, and it makes you go, I don't want that, you know what I mean? Type of a deal. But I'm glad that you were able to, especially now, maybe realize that maybe it was really just that person and not so much the industry.
Yeah, it's nature versus nurture. Like certainly I've met in the 25 years since, I've certainly met people in design who have been much happier, but I've also grown and changed as a person to the point where I'm happy where I am too. Like, I don't necessarily need to design. But I get a little taste of it on the wardrobe side, and it's fine.
And so you were saying that you basically have been, you just came, now did you go to college?
I went to School of Visual Arts, and then I left to travel because I was very interested in textiles and traveling to like third world countries. I backpacked around, and I got really interested in textiles and fabric, because you see all these different things like in Latin America, and these antique pieces of textiles like when you're there, and then India, different things, and then you go like to Italy, and then you're seeing like real fine cashmere, which those countries don't have, and I just got very interested. Plus, my mother would have to drop me off every day at my aunt's, where both of them worked in a bridal shop as seamstresses.
Oh, so it's kind of in your blood a little bit.
And then my other aunt used to do interior sewing, curtains, pillows, upholstery. Meanwhile, my mother and sister can't sew a button.
It all went to you.
So I was, studying and interested in textiles and, all of that in general, and I wasn't sure. And then I was living in Manhattan, and I was like, well, I might as well just go into the fashion end of it.
Right?
And then from there, I was like, all right, well, this is not... It could be lucrative, but it's a touch and go.
Right.
And then I was thinking, somebody said you should join the union. I started sewing beforehand, but the same thing. Then I was thinking about future, like benefits, that type of benefit, not like health insurance.
Gosh, you ladies are so like future forward thinking. Wow.
I know.
I mean,
I know. Yeah. And it's been great. And, the beauty is of this business, there are, at this point, when you have time off, you embrace it. Mm-hmm. Like I had off last week, and I just love every second of it.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to, you just have to be able to embrace it, and then say you have some, rainy day money for that.
Right.
And enjoy it, and you do have time off, but then when you do, because 1 week we work like 82 hours.
Right.
So sometimes you just need that downtime to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, when's the next job?
What's the next job to do? You know what? And so I was going to ask you guys. So we're all creative entrepreneur. I like to call it a creative entrepreneur, right? And I DJ and I do gigs, and I did this like a long time ago. And you know what I mean? So, but my question still has always been like, man, but how are the big people making money, and how are they sustaining themselves? Is it like do the project, especially if it's a great project that you can that could be lucrative for you, right? And then you got to be smart with it. In between time, what do you guys find yourselves doing? Because in between my gigs, I'm still trying to figure out how to go get the next gig or whatever, whatnot, right? But I create and I do other things so that I'm not going crazy. So what do you guys do in between your gigs, with the wardrobe? So do you have other side hustles? Do you make dresses? Do you style people?
Well, at this stage of my career, this is all I'm doing. I run an Airbnb. I do little gigs on the side, but not necessarily related. I've been raising my kids, so. But in my early career, I had a bridal business. I got a grant for a puppet show that I built and created.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say that you did a puppet show? You built and created a puppet show?
Yeah.
Okay, sis, she just really just glossed right over there.
It's a long time ago.
That's a lot of.
But you're asking about what creative things in between the paid gigs. In the early career, you really do need to do the side hustle, and now I kind of know I've become more predictable, right? I've been doing it long enough. My lifestyle is more predictable. I know how much I need. I know how much I need to save. I know how many days I need to work. And when it comes, you put it in the bank and you know how long it's going to last because you're more predictable.
I was wondering that. I was wondering if that's what creatives, right, do, is that as you get older and more into the game, right, you get the years in and you get those better paying gigs, that you get your gig and then you're just really smart with your money.
You have to.
You know what I mean? Because that way you can kind of stay in that creative zone. Otherwise, 9 to 5 is kind of calling all of us. You know what I'm saying? So how long have you been in the wardrobe part of your career? How long have you been doing this part?
25 years. 26 years.
Really? Wow. You're looking good. Yeah. I was very surprised to hear from both of you guys that you've been doing it for 20-something odd years. I do think our generation, though, has super changed aging.
Well, I don't know how long you've been, but you look great.
I've been doing it for 24 years too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
usually, like, our generation, like, we done turned it up. I just say, like,
and I've always did the side hustle, always.
Yeah.
Alterations when my daughter was in school and I wanted to stay home. I made costumes for Halloween for all the kids.
Oh, there you go.
I just made a lot of stuff. I walked dogs. I used to be big dog walker. Everyone knew me.
It looks
Totally
like
see that.
It looks like these ladies might be getting called back into work.
Yeah.
So we will definitely let them go. But I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out and talking. Hopefully we will inspire other women to get into design, to get into wardrobe, into chasing their dreams. Thank you. Bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed this show. Thanks for watching. Remember to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to subscribe and like. We're now on YouTube as well. ManifestBeauty.tv, Spotify, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. Come to our events. We got Prom Reboot May 3rd.